All right. From my research, the first fact that I found out, pretty. I don't know if impressive is the right word, but Tiffany and Co. was founded in 1837. 184 years ago. Just to put a context, Tiffany's founded in 1837. The emancipation of black people, not people of color or whatever, black people in America. Emancipation where doesn't technically mean free. Didn't mean free. It meant they did that for political reasons as well to fight. Anyway, but the emancipation where we was let go from chattel slavery, from that form of chattel slavery, to 1865. Like so, basically, so Tiffany's was we were still when you watch all those slave movies, the company was formed in the middle of us being enslaved. So just think about that. They clearly weren't abolitionists, right? You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. All right. Maybe they had nothing to do with it. Wrong. All right, here we go. Little facts, little details. Okay, all right, so let's go further back from 1837. 10 years earlier, Charles Tiffany of Tiffany and Co. In 1827, he managed a business with his father. You want to know what that business was? Because think about this. Tiffany, he was based in New York, so he's not in the South. So there's no slavery in the North, in New York. No slavery. They had nothing to do with that. He was in New York getting money. Minding his business, being not racist. What business did he own and manage with his father? His father owned it. He managed it. Had nothing to do with slavery. What business was that? Give you a second to guess. 3, 2, 1. He fucking owned a cotton mill. Okay. All right. I'm good. His father owned a cotton mill during the height of chattel slavery. Let that sink in real quick. What's a cotton mill? He's in New York. Maybe he wasn't on a plantation and blah, blah, blah. But the fact that he owned this cotton mill, right? Because cotton at the time, shout out to Nicole Hannah Jones or Johnson. I forget. I think it was Jones. I learned a lot from watching her reading her podcast. Listen to her podcast and reading the book, The 1619 Project. Please, everybody, go check that out. So basically, even growing up in public school, they taught us about Eli Whitney and oh yeah, he's a great inventor and the cotton gin and blah 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 and all these great inventions. But they never told us that the invention and the use of these cotton mills and cotton gins, it put super fuel on slave labor, where before picking cotton it was like a tedious thing. So if they was like, all right, nigga, I need 10 barrels of cotton a day from you, because they only could process a certain amount, so they didn't need as much. Then when they got the cotton gin, that thing could do 100. It was like a computer. It was like with one button, I could reach 100 people at one click. Now, nigga, you need 100 barrels a day, and I'm gonna beat that ass if you don't. That's what the cotton gin did to us. And when you have a cotton mill that has, I don't know, tens or hundreds of cotton gin, like, whew, that's kind of, so that's where he got the money from. Sounds like slavery to me. Let's just move on to some more details. Tiffany and his dad, they're both Tiffany, because that's his father's name. They literally owe Africa, I think primarily South Africa. We're going to get to that in a second. And Black Americans reparations. Of course, the U.S. government does for allowing these things to happen and creating laws. That's why the government owes us money. But there's also the private sector. There are tons of businesses that's still alive today that benefited and perpetuated the most egregious acts on humans around the world, but definitely in this country, right? So the private sector, which is I think something that T.I. was working on, the private sector owe money to. There are insurance companies that thriving today, that their first things of insurance were niggas, right? His dad made money from slavery. He was like, am I wrong on that? Is that like, no, it's separate, Dawud? Is that, somebody in the comments break, if this is not technically the same thing, explain it in the comments, help me understand. That's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to get to a point. I'm not trying to preach to nobody and be like, I'm trying to understand it, break it down. I'm just giving you information. Let's talk about it. All right. Some more details. His initial investment for the company, for Tiffany's ago, was only $100. Right? $100 came from slave labor. And he had another partner. They opened up a store. So that's 10 years after he opened the store. The store was opened up in 1837. In 1848, the first 10 years, it was like, I think like homeware, precious metals, things like that, whatever. Like a jewelry store. Then he had to step it up. He got some money. He was doing pretty good. 10 years later, he said, yo, you need to start making some jewelry. They invested heavily, like a lot in diamonds. Okay, it's 1848. Remember, black people in America was no emancipation. 1848, 58, about 20 years. We're still in the middle of, it's legal to own and breed humans from Africa. So now Tiffany's is investing in diamonds. Where are we gonna go get some diamonds from? Can I answer that one? They're not getting none of these diamonds from any European country. For some reason, nothing great. I don't want to say that. Could I say that? Maybe not the word great. But a lot of things don't come from these Europeans. I think that's why they enslave everybody else. Like, they need other stuff from, I guess, other places, because people from Africa, like, nobody's leaving where they at to go get these. Like, we don't need nothing, right? They clearly do, right? So they need diamonds. Italy, Germany, I don't know, France, no diamonds, no gold, no. They gotta come to the Americas. They gotta go to Africa. Hey, it is what it is. So, where did they get their silver, their gold from? Right, Africa. Now, at this time, 1848, back to the white lady at Tiffany's when I asked her. Now, this is clearly not during that time. This is way worse. What type of fair trade do you think was going on when they were literally buying and kidnapping humans? They were just taking the shit. They was going to these places, just taking their resources. Back to this Jay-Z commercial. In the commercial, you have Beyonce at the piano and stuff wearing this big yellow diamond. That's called it's called the Tiffany's diamond. I think it's called the Tiffany. Hold on a second, let me double check. Yeah, the Tiffany yellow diamond. Okay. It's one of the largest yellow diamonds ever discovered. It's about 287 carats after cut. Blah, blah, blah. The mine of origin, the big hole, South Africa. Owner of it, Tiffany. Cut by George Frederick Kuntz. Yeah. Okay. So that's the diamond Beyonce's wearing, and it's just like it's kind of weird and like not even ironic. It's like I'm pretty sure they gave it to her, and she in for the commercial made her feel like she was supposed to be grateful to hold this thing. Like, look, black woman, look at this great thing that like she comes from where she comes from. Like it is like if we think about the correct context of it, it's kind of like it. I'm pretty sure they had it on a white pillow, white gloves, and was sitting there like, oh, make sure. And it's like you stole that thing, right? Just so many things wrong with this right here. But all right, so they got this from the Kimberley mine in South Africa in 1878. Cecil Rhodes, a lot of you know this guy from the Rhodes Scholarship. That's a whole nother breakdown we have to do later. Everybody out here with the Rhodes Scholarship, horrible man, well-known white supremacist, horrible. He created Cecil Rhodes created the Bears Diamond Company. So on Fifth Avenue or Madison Avenue. When he I think they got the Bears store and all that kind of stuff. I think right across the street from like is it Amy whatever. There's a bunch of diamond stores over there, whatever. Yeah, these people who got wealthy from these African mines that they somehow own, right? I did some research on that. There was a big war. I think it was Britain or whatever went over there. Clearly, when they heard about all the gold and diamonds, they said, "Yeah, we got to go claim that." They went there. They fought. It was like 2 wars, whatever. I think it was like a standoff for the first one or whatever. Then they came back and they demolished and they just cut up black people and they used like chemical they did horrible stuff to take over South Africa, right? And that was the reason why they went there for the resources. Same reason what America does today, right? So from that whole situation, that whole war, that whole just basically, pray for Ukraine. Right? Nobody was praying for South Africa in 1878 from other white people. It was also Barney Bernardo and Cecil Rhodes. They started that company. So from that whole war or whatever, but these 2 businessmen, white supremacists, became very wealthy. So that's where that yellow diamond comes from during that period. So that's where they bought it from. They bought it from the De Beers company, from Cecil Rhodes, and he got it from. Go Google that war. I think it was called the Anglo War or something like that, whatever. But that's where this diamond comes from. Just horrible. Now, okay. Charles Tiffany, some other quick facts before we get out of here. He lived in a mansion on Madison Avenue and 72nd Street in the Upper West Side of New York. I think that's the mansion where the Ralph Lauren store is now. Their flagship store. And I go there a lot. I go there because I don't know how. I'll explain. If you watch the channel, y'all know why I shop at Ralph Lauren. I do Versace. I don't do too much other stuff. I don't do Gucci. Whenever I hear these racist things, I cut people off, whatever. So if you heard anything about those 2 companies, let me know. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, all right. One cool thing. We about to get out of here. Charles Tiffany, he died in Yonkers. Shout out to my hometown. I was raised there. I was born in Mount Vernon, but I was raised in Yonkers. We did one thing right. Yeah. So yeah, that's a little bit of details. We got one more thing too I want to bring up.